Red alert, get your body whole 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk. Get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk. Get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk. Get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk. Get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't.
Yo, what's up, people? My bad. I'm muted, son. My bad. Check this out. Obviously, we've I didn't think I was gonna come back right away. Let me say this. I didn't think I was gonna be back today. I thought I was actually gonna come back, maybe the end of the week and just recap everything that I heard and everything that I want to talk about and whatever. But I left so much on the table yesterday, you know, I figured I just jump right back in it. So shout out to all the Rockets fans, all the podcasters that's out there getting their bread up, you know, bringing the information, bringing the news to you, keeping you informed. And that's basically what I'm here to do. But I'm here to give you a perspective that you know, maybe that's not what's hot to talk about. But I don't just, I'm not just doing what's hot. My alarm is always on. It's always red alert. I'm always on red alert. Like my boy Ghost, what I'm saying? They say I'm always trying to trade somebody. And I'm always, you know, I'm always thinking of trades and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna hold y'all with a bunch of just a bunch of saying stuff. But I want to get into this topic. I'm gonna get into this topic. We finna have it out. We literally about to have it out. I'm gonna tell you why. As you see, the topic is tonight is Ime Udoka on the hot seat. That's what you have to know. Is Ime Udoka on the hot seat? First of all, should he be on the hot seat? You know, this is a good question. I mean, I really think ultimately, I got a little echo down. Let me fix that. My bad. Okay, so I really think ultimately it's it's not about It's not about whether or not you agree with the trade because we fans, we sit there, we wait on something to pop off, and when something happens, we get that little adrenaline rush. Something happened because it could have been anybody. What was the guy we got last year from Atlanta? And we was like, oh yeah, we got that dude. That boy started preaching and was gone before we even got to see him shoot a basket. But hey, it was good to know we made a move. Long as it's a move, we cool with it. Right? Right. Now, I'm gonna get into this and get out of this. I'm gonna jump in and jump out. My alarm is on. My alarm stay on, but my alarm work. I don't know about everybody else, but my alarm work. It's Ime Udoka on the hot seat. Should Ime Udoka be on the hot seat? First of all, if he don't win this year, is he on the hot seat? If we don't win a championship this year, should Ime Udoka be on the hot seat? So if he's not on the hot seat already, what about if we don't win this year? Okay. Okay. So what? Maybe not if we don't win this year. He just automatically, warm britches. Maybe it's warm, but it ain't scorching. You know what I mean? It ain't scorching yet, but it's warm. If he don't win next year, is it scorching? You know what I mean? Okay. So we got Kevin Durant for this year. Next year, they say they're gonna extend him, so that we should have him for 3 years, I guess, right? 3 years. They give him two for 120. Is that what it's supposed to be? Okay. So after the third year, after Kevin Durant leave, is Ime Udoka on the hot seat? Listen, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Was the KD trade a front office L or was it a coach and power move? Okay. You got to think about it. If Ime was the one who wanted, Stephen A. Smith reported today that the Rockets management didn't really want to pull the trigger on the Kevin Durant trade. Stephen A. Smith reported today on First Take that the Rockets management didn't really want to pull the trigger on the Kevin Durant trade. Right? The Rockets management, as Stephen A. Smith reported, was against pulling the trade, pulling the trigger on the trade for Kevin Durant. Why is that important? Because they didn't really necessarily want him, but Ime Udoka really wanted it. Oh boy! So they got rid of Jalen Green, scored 21 points, 3 assists, 42% field goal shooting, 35 from three, 81% from the free throw line. Stupido. Um, Jalen Green did score 21 points a game. The thing that we have to compare is we have to say to ourselves, was it a good move? Was it a good move? we really gonna bring in we really gonna bring in a guy to come in and play with our core. We take out Jalen Green and we bring in Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant is gonna come in. He's gonna be playing in some capacity with Alperen Sengun, Amin Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., Fred Van Vliet. Okay? Now let's think about how this works. Remember when we got Carmelo Anthony? I didn't bring the clip up, but maybe you can go Google this and you can go find it. When Carmelo Anthony was talking about when he came to Houston, obviously it was under Daryl Morey and was it Mike D'Antoni? Mike D'Antoni. Um, he was talking about how he got to doing his thing, bang bang bang, pop pop, get the shot, and they start hollering, no, don't do that, don't do that. And when he got back to the film study or whatever, they had a note up about who was supposed to take mid range shots. You know, these shots come from here, these shots come from here, and they had only Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony take mid range shots. This is the first of all, this is like groundbreaking news, right? Because ultimately, we all suspect that they are telling these people don't shoot the mid range. But when you have Carmelo come out and say they actually had only two people shoot mid range shots on the board at that time, then those two people was Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony. Then on top of that, it was like I think he said it was like 8 shots. So Carmelo was like, okay, boom, we're gonna split them up. I'm gonna go get my boom, boom, boom. And Chris throw it to me down there. I do my thing. He go down there and do his thing. Well, we really want Chris Paul to take him because, you know, he's very good at it. And if you get it, then you can take it. But they really didn't have no intention on Carmelo Anthony having a set amount of plays where he took mid-range shots. So I'm wondering exactly how Kevin Durant is going to be used in our offense because Alfred Sengun is a mid-range player, and I mean, obviously, you know, he getting a couple of buckets at the rim. Obviously he gonna do his little hook shot or whatever, but not a high post player. But I think he's most effective. I think he's most effective when he catches the ball at the high post. I think that Alfred Sengun at his best is catching the ball at the high post, turning, getting the angle on the player, and then driving the ball in, hitting him with a little pivot, and getting his hook off in rhythm. I think that's his best offense when he can drive that shoulder into you, and then he's able to get to the middle, and he's able to get to the middle and drive that shoulder into you like he wants to. That's better for Alfred Sengun. It's it's not like he's a mid range bomber like Chris Webber, Paul Gasol just stand right there and hit the mid range. But if you let him put the ball on the deck and get in there and do his thing, he can be dangerous. So I wonder is Kevin Durant, how does he fit into the offense and if it takes away from our players? Guess who else is a mid range player? Jabari Smith Jr. And for most of the Rockets fans, we've been asking that Jabari Smith Jr. gets more mid range touches. Well, with Kevin Durant coming in, it's gonna probably not be more mid range touches. It's probably gonna be less mid range touches. Unless they are guaranteed gonna bring him off the bench. if we're gonna go with an offense like Fred, Tari, Almond, KD, LP, which I think is a great lineup. If Tari can stay healthy, if KD can stay healthy, that's a great lineup, and that's probably what they're going to try to start off with the beginning of the year. That's okay because now Jabari comes in and he gets those mid-range touches. But when he has to be on the floor with KD, he don't get those mid-range touches, right? And it forces Tari, you know, to really, really become a good corner shooter. Tari and Almond to really become good floor spacers in the corner. Or if Almond is setting the offense, then obviously Fred can, you know, space the floor a little bit. So with Kevin Durant being a 50-40-90 guy and actually finishing, you know, that's 70 at the rim, not bad. You know, um, 70 for 33 at the rim, not is not a bad deal. You know, and LP having a defensive efficiency of 109, it don't hurt our defense a lot. Kevin and obviously, Kevin Durant is not a bad defensive player, but I wanna talk about his defense for a minute because a steal and a block a game for a guy that's 7 foot is not bad, but it's not like he's literally staying in front of people. I mean, just keep it a thou while. If Kevin Durant gets switched onto a legitimate shooting guard or a scorer, I don't know that there's much he can really do with that because I don't know about his lateral quickness. I know he can slide a little bit, and I know his length makes up for his lack of you know foot speed. But obviously, we losing a little bit of oomph at that small forward or power forward position when Kevin Durant is on the floor. Plain and simple. So there is a thing going around, just basically about the players that the players that have been traded that led to similar to our situation where you get an older player for a younger player, and that younger player turns out to be very good. Um, as you see, Muse Muse, whoever he is, trading a young star for an old superstar. Where have I seen this before? Was his post, and it's kind of you know when you think about it from that aspect, it's kind of scary to say that our coach wanted to do this because sometimes you know we look at a guy and we say, yes, we expect him to do X, Y, and Z. We know he can do X, Y, and Z. And we know how coaches are about the experience thing because a player not being experienced can make them look worse. But I don't think Jalen's inability to produce at the level we needed him to, it didn't affect Ime's status. It didn't affect Ime's status. Everybody generally still thinks that Ime is a great coach, even after Jalen failed to perform in the playoffs. Everybody still knows that Ime is a great coach. But what happens is Ime is pushing for Kevin Durant now. And since he pushed for Kevin Durant, we actually have a different problem. And now our problem is not is Ime a good coach? It is Ime going to be able to make up for the problem that he just caused? Now here's the thing. Here's the real thing. If you manage my company and you the store manager, my district manager want to do things a certain way, and you come to the district manager and say, "Hey, I want to do things this specific way," and they grant you that, the onus now falls on you. The accountability now falls on you. And if things don't go right, that district manager, that general manager can now throw up his hands and say, "Hey, look, I gave him what he wanted. I checked with you. You said give him what he want. I gave him what he wanted. We paid the man a lot of money to do his job. We don't want to. We don't want to. We don't want to rock the boat. We want to keep our relationship good. He wanted this particular thing, and now we've traded a young star for an old star. Is it a big deal or not? Well, you get what you trade for. Jalen Green literally played 82 games last year. And I'm not, listen, listen. I'm not saying that Ime Udoka made the wrong move by getting Kevin Durant. I'm just asking a simple question. I'm just asking a simple question. When Tyler Hero was in Sacramento, played 109 games, scored 13.6 points, 6.3 assists, and shot 41.3% from three-pointer. True shooting of 61.6% and a usage rate of 17%. Right? His usage rate goes up to 23.8%. His true shooting stays at 61%. His three-pointers dropped, obviously because he's shooting, more contested shots, dropped to 36.4%. And his assists went up to 10% to 10 points per game, well, basically 11. And then his points go up 7 points to 20 points a game. Right? That's in 2 years. And Tyrese Halliburton is now being thought of as one of the top point guards in the league. And people would probably say, well, he's not a top point guard in the league. Well, if you lead your team, if you point to people on the court and they trust you and you get them the ball and the team relies on you to initiate the offense, to draw the defense in, to manipulate the offense, get the ball where it needs to be, hit shots when they listen, you're a star point guard in this league. And definitely to be in the playoffs, playing for a championship makes you, you got to be a top something. You got to be a top something point guard in the league. Let's talk about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for a minute. Yeah, he was a rookie. 2018, 2019. But he scored 10 points a game in 3 assists, 36% three-point shooting, like 37, something like that. With a usage rating of 18.6 as a rookie, true shooting 57.6%. Okay? Boom. 5 years later. 5 years later, he wins a championship. 5 years from the time they traded him for Paul George, with all the picks in the world, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander wins the championship, 30 points a game, 6 assists, 2 steals, 63.4 true shooting, and a 32.1 usage rate. That's crazy. 32.1 usage rate is crazy. Jalen Green was, by all metrics, top 6, top 7 point guard in the league last year. Not point guard, shooting guard. By all metrics, Jalen Green was on his way to becoming an all star. By all metrics, Jalen Green was one of the most electrifying players in the league last year. The only people that's bringing you that kind of electricity that Jalen Green at that young age is Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards. Those are the only two guys that when you see them play, you just are waiting for them to explode to the rim and do something because they have elite athleticism and it looks so good when they fly through the air. Like the lift off, the pose in the air, the length, the contortion of the body is not like the dude wasn't going to be an all-star this year anyway. But I think when he goes to Phoenix, he'll be an all-star. I don't think that this is a matter of whether or not the trade is a good trade or not anymore. You gave up Dylan Brooks. You gave up Jalen Green. You gave up 5 peanuts. And you gave up the 10th overall pick. And I still think they might do something to try to snatch a pick or something this year, maybe. But I think this really is a situation where you have to, you're hoping that the coach is making the right decision. So far, so far, he's lived up to what we brought him here to do. But this could be this could be bad for Ime. Let's just put it factually. This could be bad for Ime. In 2 years, 3 years, if this team is not able to maintain the success it's having or maintain the flexibility and ability to grow that we have right now because of this Kevin Durant trade, it is going to be it's, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, right? I don't think it's going to be. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to be what's the word? I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as great a year as everybody feels like it's going to be, but everybody's excited about the trade. And I don't want to be the bringer of bad news. I don't want to spoil I don't want to be the party pooper. I don't want to spoil the party for everybody. I just feel like it's more to it than just, hey, we got a guy who's done something in the past. Um Morris, Markeith Morris brought up a very good point today. We need Kevin Durant to come here and leave this team better than it was when he got here. Is really what we need. We really need somebody to come in, and when he leaves, we need this team to be better than it was when he came. The players need to be smarter. They need to have more intensity. They need to be more polished. They need to have better work ethics. They need to feel more like champions. They need to be champions. They really need to be champions. My next stream is going to be probably about whether or not Kevin Durant has to bring a title to Houston. I think it's important that Kevin Durant brings the title to Houston because the number 2 seed and a 2 playoff wins, the 2 playoff series is not good enough. Because let me tell you what I'll have a problem with. We go up against OKC next year. I think well, let me do this. Chet is getting dogged by LP. Period. LP is cooking Chet. Cook King. King King Cook. Cook the King. He getting cooked. James Cook. Robert Cook. NATO Cook. NATO, you don't know nothing about NATO? I don't know nothing about NATO. Look, LP cooking Chet. I think that Jalen Williams stuff gets no play with Ahmed. Jalen Williams gets no burn with Ahmed Thompson. Nobody gets burned with Ahmed Thompson. I mean, if you're not like LeBron James or somebody like that that's just massively outweighing him by, almost, 40, 50 pounds, Zion Williamson or something like that, you gets no burn with Ahmed. Word to Mary. Okay? So now what am I telling you? What am I telling you? Fred Van Vliet against who? Who is they? Caruso? Fred Van Vliet versus Caruso? Something like that. They have to cancel each other out. Champions, smart guys, you know, leaders, they have to cancel each other out. Jabari or Tari and Lou Dort, they probably, equal. Hardenstein, Steven Adams, well, we know Aquaman, Body and Hardenstein. So what's that game going to come down to? That game is going to come down to a young phenom in Shea Alexander and Kevin Durant. Who's going to win the game? Is Kevin Durant capable of leading his team better than Shea Alexander is capable of leading his team? And guess what it's going to boil down to? Buckets. Buckets. The best scorer of all time by the consensus has to outscore Shea Alexander. Guess what? Shea is 20 something. Kevin is almost 40. And for those of you who don't know this, I feel like a 40-year-old should be the 20-something-year-old at basketball because you got grown man strength, you got old man moves, and you don't have to use your quickness and your speed to get to your bag. If I go play an equally matched 25-year-old, I'm bodying him. I'm bodying him because I'm not gonna get sped up. I'm not gonna let you get me out of my rhythm, and I'm gonna lock up on D. But for the most part, I'm gonna do what I want to do on offense, and you can't make me do nothing different on offense. Now, I know they don't play the same position. That's not my point. My point is if Lou Dort is holding Kevin Durant should get buckets. If Amen is holding Okay, that means Fred is holding Jalen, or we have to put Tari in to hold Jalen. You know, we switching, we trapping, we trapping. We got Fred on him, and we trapping hard with him, trying to dig out, hedging, blitzing. And either way it go, I trust Ime's defensive schemes as much as anybody in the league. I trust that. And that's not the point. That's not the tip of the pencil. What it's all going to come down to is, can Kevin Durant outplay Shea Gildress Alexander? It's Look, I'm gonna do a I'm gonna do a poll in the chat. I'm finna put a poll in the chat right quick. Okay, let's see. Share. Let's see if I put a poll in the chat, y'all can answer it for me. Uh, Katie outscore SGA. It's a simple question. Start poll. And look, I don't think it's a matter of too much else. I don't think it's a matter of too much else. The only thing that matters, what it's going to come down to is, will Kevin Durant outscore SGA? Mind you, I think he's had one of the best playoff performances we've seen in recent, you know, I mean, Giannis did too, but that that game, the with the toe game, that was that was a big game, and he was hitting big shots, and he hit that big shot, and the toe on the line thing. Obviously it's a mental mistake. I don't care what they say about his shoe being too big. It's just a mental mistake. You need three. I don't care if you got to, whatever. You just don't step that close to the line. It's just a mental mistake. So what? People make them all the time. That's not the tip of the pencil. The tip of the pencil is he going to be able to outplay Shea Gilders Alexander, cheese and rice? Guess what else? Guess what else? I'm holding the fort down right now, and I'm just really chopping it up with y'all. Because somebody might come on and then they might wonder, like, you know, can I get some hot takes? Or can I learn something or think about something that I didn't hear yet? Well, you probably heard it and you probably thought about it, but nobody said it. You didn't have nobody to say it to. Well, I'm gonna say it for you. Immediately, immediately after the Rockets trade, they went back to talking about Giannis. Immediately after the Rockets trade, first day one, go back to my other videos and listen at how adamant I was that the media had kicked the dirt over the Giannis trade to go ahead and get us to get Kevin Durant. They just kicked a bunch of dirt over it. They wasn't concerned about the parity in the league and all this and that. They was trying to make sure that we didn't get Giannis, because if we get Giannis, we F up the whole thing. We F up the whole league if we get Giannis. Everybody knows if we would have got Giannis, that would have been just like Golden State Warriors. We'd have been just like the Golden State Warriors, because we'd have got Giannis, and That type of defense is what I'm talking about. That level of defense, you get Giannis and you got LP and you got Armin, because it would have been the same scenario. It would have been Giannis has made it obvious that he wants to leave. Now that says he wants to leave, now who got the best package? Well, we got to pick. Obviously, San Antonio, they got a number 2, which is better than ours. They got a rookie of the year, but we got Jalen Green, we got Fred VanVleet, we got picks, and now what you gonna do about Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green? And you want Atari Eason for Giannis? Guess what? Now you can get Atari Eason for Giannis. But they kicked that dirt over the Giannis trade. Giannis hasn't asked for a trade, and he's not on the trading block. That's obvious, bro. That's obvious. That's just reporting something that's saying a bunch of nothing to get people to think that it's news. Giannis hasn't asked for a trade. Neither did Luka. Neither did AD. Neither did Desmond Bain. But they all ended up on their prospective teams, and they all going to help that team be better than what they was. Minus AD because he's going to be hurt, but they'll be good when he's on the floor. Because you think about AD and Kyrie, and I don't even want to talk about no Mavericks or no Spurs, bro. Let me tell you what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how the media is rounding back into rare form as it pertains to Giannis Antetokounmpo trades. Now, listen, listen. You clicked on it, you made it this far, hit the like and subscribe. I'm finna give you these last little bit of nuggets. You would know if the media is anti-Houston and anti-Kevin Durant if they don't start pushing for the Rockets to get Giannis. Because they set all this up. If y'all was looking at my comments, I know a lot of y'all know who I am. And you probably see my comments and you be like, man, he be saying all kind of stuff. But I'm saying, if y'all was looking and paying attention, you will see that I'm saying they setting this narrative up about no more super teams in the league. There's no more super teams in the league. It's no more super teams in the league. Parity, parity, parity. Parity, parity, parity. Stephen A. Smith said, man, you know, I wish Giannis come to the Knicks, but I really wish he would go to OKC. Parity. Is that parity? Is that no more super teams? That's not a super team, the MVP. And then Giannis go play with the That's not the same thing that Kevin Durant did, go play with the MVP. The best team in the league, and then Giannis go join them. What's the point of next year? If Giannis go join OKC, what's the point of next year basketball? Just to watch? Because we know who's gonna win. They won all the games this year. Nobody could even get close to them unless they were taking the night off. But Stephen A. said out his mouth, he wished Giannis could go to OKC. They got all the picks. They got the people. They got the trade. They can get him if he want to go there. And guess what? Oklahoma City is as boring as Milwaukee. You want to go somewhere and be in a boring place to be? Oklahoma City is for you. Oklahoma City is, this is where I want to be. But if the league, if the media, doesn't start to push to pair Giannis Antetokounmpo with Kevin Durant, you'll have some semblance, some kind of idea of what I've been complaining about. Because the perfect thing to happen would be for Giannis and KD to join hands and get a championship for both of them. For both of them, you want to make because look, you got AD, you got Kyrie, right? They bringing in Cooper Flag, New Bird, Kevin Love, White Mike. Then you got LeBron, Luca. They trying to bring in a center to come in, bang bang. They got a center, LeBron and Luca, which is a young phenom and arguably the greatest player of them. Guess what else? Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody has two superstars, and a young player, and a young player, right? I mean, okay. See, they built up like San Antonio, so they never had you know superstars come in at superstar level until they got like LaMarcus Aldridge, but he was older. But they was bringing, they really was bringing superstars from overseas to come play with them. Now the Spurs have De'Aaron Fox, the modern day Patrick Ewing with the frozen envelope, and I don't know if they still got Chris Paul or not. And they're gonna get the number 2 pick in the draft, and they got the rookie of the year. I'll tell you what's no parity. What's no parity is our team got number 4, number 3, number 4, number 2, 16th overall or 17th overall. And we was in there like, if they get past the shoot 'em up, bang, bang, Golden State Warriors, Wild Wild West, running around and shooting and pulling people and Draymond kicking everybody in the nuts and they not calling the tech. If we get past them, we probably make it to, you know, probably make it to the Western Conference Finals. But we didn't get past them. Now, is it our fault that our team was better than the Spurs and better than the Mavericks? No, it's not. Because the Spurs have drafted very well. The Spurs have very good players. Do they have a very good coach? Not no more. But obviously they got hurt last year. I think if Victor Wembanyama is not hurt last year, they make the playoffs. If he stays upright, the Spurs are a playoff team. Easy. Look, like we don't need Giannis because we're gonna have to give up too much to get him. Look, we in now. We in now. We in now. We got the Spurs picks. We got the 27, 29 valuable picks. Valuable picks. We got Kevin Durant. We have Fred Van Bleep. Fred Van Bleep. Freddie. Which is a good, is a good trade piece for cap reasons if we want to go after Giannis. You throw Fred Van Vliet because we can sign we can re-sign him or extend him or whatever, trade him to them. Now they got, they got that little salary that they can do what they're gonna do with it. And we don't have to give them a super long contract. We can give them a contract that come off their books and however long it need to come off their books. You did what I'm saying. And we got a couple of pieces that we still can offer you. We still can offer you a Cam Ward. We still can offer you a Torrey Eason. And we still can keep our Reed Shepard and Amin Thompson. And you talking about consolidate your roster. Fred VanVleet, Cam Ward. I mean not Cam Ward. Cam Whitmore. Fred VanVleet, Cam Whitmore, and Torrey for Giannis, and you know, that's about it. Throw a couple of pieces in, send pieces here, send pieces there, whatever the case may gotta be. And we bring Giannis in, and now you got, KD, Giannis, and LP. Who your starting point guard? I don't care. I don't care who the starting point guard is. With a team like that, if we have Reed Shepard, Amin Thompson, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Alperen Sengun, I'll start that because I'm starting Amin anyway. And KD, Giannis, and LP, they're gonna cover up for anything Reed Shepard can't do. And if you get to leaving Reed Shepard open, and he really get to feeling himself, watch our lead. Now, do I think that's gonna happen? Nope. Should it happen? Yep. Guess what? The league should want it to happen. Everybody should want it to happen. Everybody should want KD to win a championship. Everybody should want Giannis to win a championship. And everybody knows if Giannis goes to the Spurs, he's not winning the championship. If Giannis stays in Milwaukee, he's not winning the championship. If Giannis goes to New York, he's not winning the championship. If Giannis goes to anywhere else other than the Lakers, the Rockets, the Oklahoma City Thunder, he is not winning the championship, bro. Bruh, not at all. Unless it's Golden State. The four places that you can go: Golden State, LA, Houston, OKC, maybe Miami, but we don't know Halliburton coming back, and then maybe Boston. You know, maybe Boston, but I know he don't want to go play in Boston. That's not his thing. Boston is out the equation. Indiana kind of out the equation too. I doubt he would go to Indiana, but I'm pretty sure he like how they play because they play gritty and he got that heart. So he could go there, but New York, it could be something. It could be something. But if he want to get a chip, Houston would be the place that Giannis want to be. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Guess what I'm gonna do? Uh, I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link, even though ain't nobody in here with me. But if somebody pop up and they wanna, you know what I mean? Yeesh. Let me see if I remember how to drop this joint. Not referral link on boy. Let me see. Not that. Invite right here. Here we go. Hey, lo-fi, 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 lo-fi. Look, so I don't, I don't think I have too much more I'm gonna say about this topic. Appreciate you for tuning in. I could stay on a little while longer, but hey, look, if you made it this far, if you listen to the show, You know, I'm rounding in the ref form. It's running on an hour. I might stay on for a little while longer, but I really wish if you was listening to this for 55 minutes, if you actually made it this far into the show, I really would like for you to hit the like and subscribe to the show so you don't miss any other videos. You can call in, you can get your takes off. If you my people, if you my boys, you my homeboys, you know what I mean? And y'all see my shit pop up, y'all don't subscribe, you might be a hater, bro. I'm inclined to Bomani Jones. Yo, doggy, bottom. Look, if you see my joints pop up and you want to call, you want to chop it up with me, y'all know how I do, man. I'm gonna bring the topic out because I'm not thinking about what everybody is saying, and I'm not thinking about what everybody thinking. I'm thinking about that real. I'm thinking about the stuff that really matters to the team, and I can say it. I can say it with the best of them because even though you're not really thinking about, you know, oh, is it gonna work? Boom, boom, boom. The numbers. Just read the numbers. I don't. The numbers is there. The numbers is there. You can look at it. It look like a bunch of anyway. Do I think it'll work? Yes, I think it'll work as long as he's on the floor. Do you get what you trade for? In the case of the Los Angeles Clippers, the Sacramento Kings, and the Phoenix Suns, you do. In those cases, you have two that made the championship and one that'll make an All-Star game this year. Funny thing is, here's the kicker. If they go ahead, they're gonna put Jalen Green or Devin Booker at the point guard. I don't think Bradley Beal is going to be effective for that team. We haven't seen him be effective for that team. I heard somebody on the Phoenix podcast talking about he need to get his and they need to cut him loose and he might turn into Bradley Beal. If he turn into anything, it must be a witch around somewhere. He must have. It must be a fairy tale. It must be one of them you know, turn him to a frog type thing, Wingardium Leviosa type things, Harry Potter type joints. They ain't turning into no superstar, no prime Bradley Bill, no none of that. We ain't heard from that dude since he scored all them buckets in Washington. The minute he got in Phoenix, smoked out. smoked smoked out in Phoenix, man. Y'all don't understand. It's smoked out in Phoenix, man. You go to Arizona, you in that heat. You coming from the north, from the east, yeah, you smoked out, man. You ain't getting it there. You ain't getting it in like that with that warm. Your body warmed up. You ain't used to it. But if they put Jalen at point guard, then what they do in that case is they stunt his career a little bit for now. He'll make he'll have growth in his decision making if he make those mistakes in playing point guard all year and he know that's his goal, he know that's his job, he know who he got on his team. He's learned how to be a professional from Fred VanVleet and from Ime Udoka. Now he's going to a new team. He'll have a little chip on his shoulder. They've been trying to teach him how to play point guard and giving him more ball handling duties and things like that. If they make Jalen Green a point guard and Devin Booker is your shooting guard, that is a pretty dynamic backcourt. And for the sake of saying, that is the only way he won't make the All Star game. Because if he's a starting shooting guard in the league next year, he's making an All Star game. Unless he's on a team with somebody who just, you know, not not sharing the sugar. You know what I mean? If he on a team with somebody where they're not sharing the sugar, then maybe not. But Jalen has made a career of getting his buckets and knowing how to get off when he need to. And I don't think he's going to be in a situation where the whole defense is going to be like, "Hey, let's trap Jalen all game long," like in the playoffs. Guess why? Because right now he's in Phoenix. If you're going to do what Golden State did to Jalen, then Devin Booker is going to roast you. Y'all ever seen one of them big swine when people had them big swines and they be on the little turning thing and they got the apple, they put it out, they put the apple in the mouth, they glaze it up. That's what you're gonna be looking like if you try to trap Jalen Green all game long. You're gonna be looking just like one of them little oink oinks. Just like one of them little rotisserie swine. Abominated. So no, I don't believe at all that Jalen Green that we've seen the last of Jalen Green. What I do know is he's not cooking almond when he come here. He's not cooking Tar when he come here. They better hope Cam in the game because he'll cook Cam, but he's not cooking nobody else. Because we know about him. We know about him. The rest of the league is the ones that's talking about, oh, he valued, appreciated. And you know what I think? I actually think that Phoenix did that. Phoenix did that. Oh, we don't really want him. His value down too low and blah, 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 blah. That's all a mind game, bro. They wanted that dude. How do you not want a guy who's the top 5 shooting guard in the league because he had some bad games in the playoff? That's what you think? That's what you think? You literally think that a team that the whole entire league is looking at Jalen Green and saying, like, the media sell y'all anything, bro. The media can sell y'all anything. Y'all be like, man, his value down. Don't nobody want him. Really? Really? Pull up, pull up best shooting guards in the league. Pull up the top 10 shooting guards in the league and tell me if Jalen Green's name is not on the top 10. In the middle of the top, not at the end, not like number 9, number 10. His name gonna be 6, 7, 5, 6, 7 shooting guards in the league. What you mean his you know, what you mean he down? His value down. Come on, bro. That don't make no sense. How his value gonna be down based off of one playoff game? This is his first playoff game in his life. And the team double and triple teaming him all over the court. Other people played in playoff games, yeah, but teams wasn't doubling, tripling them all over the court. Them other guys played in the playoff game, they had somebody they could look to. They had somebody else you had to worry about. I mean, even if you look at Cade Cunningham, first of all, Cade Cunningham played point guard. He didn't have to get the ball from nobody else. He was setting up everything by himself and he was doing his own thing. And they wasn't tripling, double, tripling, trapping him, leaving everybody else open. Because if they did, he got shooters out there. And he don't have to, man, look, this dude gonna ball. He gonna ball. You don't have to worry about Jalen. What you have to worry about is if Tillman Fertitta get into a bind, get into a financial bind, it's a possibility, man. Somebody might try to sell the Rockets. I don't know if Tillman Fertitta is in this for the long haul to begin with. I don't know how long he plans on keeping the Rockets. He seemed like, you know, run it up, run it up, run it up, and sell it. and somebody mess around there and end up taking the Rockets to Vegas or some shit like that, and we don't even have no basketball team. We have to get an expansion team in Houston. Like some weird stuff. And it'll all be because Ime Udoka wanted Kevin Durant. It'll all be because at the end of the day, people have decided that even though we've seen old player after old player go to team and just dismantle that team, strip it down to the last nitty gritty, to the last thread. We've seen it over and over again. Ime decided, hey, we want a shooter. His name got to be Kevin Durant, and we're gonna. How about somebody named not Kevin Durant? I mean, and look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Listen, don't get me wrong, bro. I understand how valuable he can be if it's good, if it works out. If it works out, I understand how valuable it can be. But the chances are, if he's not hurt, it'll be all right. Look, this is what I want to do. I'm gonna give y'all a minute. I'm gonna come right back and we'll continue the conversation. Okay? That's cool in the game. Thank you.
Red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding. Rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk. Get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos bust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, catch your body hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk. Get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Don't ask.
No, I'm just, I'm back now though. But look, I've been sitting there talking. I'm on mute. No biggie smalls. You know what I mean? So I had to sit with it for a minute. You know what I mean? I literally had to sit with it for a minute and just, you know, am I leaving y'all with the final point, did I tell y'all? Did I actually say whether or not Ime should be on the hot seat or not? No, I didn't. I never did. I never told y'all whether Ime should be on the hot seat or not. Because I really want to know what y'all think. I really want to know, do you think Ime Udoka should be on the hot seat or not? I'll tell you what I know. I know for a fact. My radars, my antennas is up. He on my radar now. I'm on high alert because I've always suspected that Raphael Stone would be our downfall because he came from under Daryl Morey. And Daryl Morey was so cut and paste, he was so copy paste that he was never gonna really be able to win with that, you know, it got to be this way. Raphael Stone impressed me because he listened to his coach. But in times like this, I have to ask Ime, bro, I know he the best shooter in the game right now. According to the stats, according to what everybody's saying, he the best shooter in the game. I don't think he better than Curry, but I guess you have to say all around shooter. Because even when he was on Golden State, you know, he was a bigger threat than Curry was. And we know he can get buckets. But if Raphael Stone is telling you, I don't really know about it, and maybe Tim Fertitta said, man, that kind of money, what's the risk? Well, the risk is if we get him and we and he gets hurt, we just got to run it with our team and see how it pans out. And could it hurt our salary in the long run? Yeah, it can. It can. And I would have um more analysis on how Kevin Durant's contract affects our salary on the next show. Maybe not the next show. Maybe this weekend. Maybe this weekend, I have on special guests or something, and I have more analysis on how Kevin Durant salary um affects our team going forward in the future. Matter of fact, I'll send that text here in a minute. Um, but the concern for me is if Ime made the call, why was Raphael Stone not willing, didn't really want to pull the trigger? Why did Raphael Stone not feel like it was a necessary thing to do? Why was the higher management opposed or not in agreement that this was something that we should do? What was their actual thoughts about it? I would like, you know, somebody like Jackson Gatlin, who's, courageous and asking these kind of questions. And I know Raphael Stone would give him some, you know, subpar, tongue in cheek, lawyer speak, spiel, hey, well, I think it's overrated to say that, we didn't necessarily want to pull the trigger on a guy because we did talk about continuity and we didn't think that he was a bad player. We just thought that, they were asking something that we didn't want to give. We weren't going to get it. And they gave us something that we did want to give. He'd give some kind of answer like that. But I would like to know, hey, what was the thought process about not getting Kevin Durant that was in opposition, what was the pros and cons that you saw in getting Kevin Durant? That would be a great question that I would like one of these, you know, somebody in the press to just ask Raphael Stone, hey, going into the process of trading for Kevin Durant, what were the pros and cons of getting Kevin Durant? And how did you ultimately decide to go ahead and pull the trigger? Well, Ime wanted it, well, we know that. But what was the pros and cons? What was the cons? That's what I would like to know. And somebody could spill that, somebody can get that, break that story of what it was that Raphael Stone was saying, other than he didn't fit the timeline, then that would be great for us. I think also, my bad, I'm sitting here just going in and didn't even realize I hit the mute button. But look, all I'm saying is I would just like to know what is it that made Raphael Stone not want to get Kevin Durant, you know? And then the fan base could have an actual real life view of what it is that we really are up against. Because obviously, not just hey, we had a bunch of young guys that we really believe in, and they were really playing well, and they was growing every year, and we didn't really want to break that up. We wanted to give them another chance to go ahead and play again. That would be a good answer, and I would accept that. But I also would like to know, hey, look, we feel like Jalen Green was going to be this. That's why we drafted him, and we gave him up anyway because do 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 do. See? And then the people can say, man, Raphael Stone don't know what he talking about. Jalen Green ain't gonna be nothing. And then when you sit back and you see Jalen Green do whatever he do, and he come to town and he cook us for 30, then we can say, yeah, he did that last year. And then you can look at it and you can be like, sure, you know, we did know Duke can score. We just don't think he'll be good in the playoff. And then if he's ever good in the playoff, you can eat your words. If he's not good in the playoffs, so what? We don't have him no more. Maybe he'll come back. Hopefully there's no hard feelings, you know. But I just think it's approaching the point to where maybe Ime was sitting there and he was saying, "Hey, my offense is very vanilla. You know, I would like to add some peaches to it, or some strawberries. Maybe some chocolate chips, or you know, chocolate sundae, or chocolate syrup or something. Some sprinkles or something on top of this offense. Bring in Kevin Durant because I'm tired of people complaining about my offense. Well, it's not your offense that changed; it's the player that changed because your offense should have unlocked. It should have unlocked Jalen. It should have made Jalen a better player. I mean, couldn't dry. So now you got a coach that everybody knows his offense is not. You know, it's not just blowing nobody away, bro. Ime Udoka's offense hasn't blown anybody away. We're not saying we don't like Ime as a coach. We love Ime as a coach. He was my second pick for coach. A third. Obviously I would have liked Mark Jackson. Obviously I would have liked Kenny Smith or Sam Cassell, somebody that was actually a Rocket, you know. Um, but other than that, Ime was before Jeff Van Gundy. I liked Ime over Jeff, and Jeff has done a great job in LA as a defensive consultant, if that's what they're calling him. he might go out and get the job in New York, even though he's Tom Thibodeau OG, and you know has a lot of the same philosophies, unless he's changed them by working with Mark. Um, and then Jeff was a very likable person. Still lives in Houston, and still supports the Houston Rockets, and is a very likable, person and media personality. And I think having those kind of guys as coaches um, resonate, with the fan base in Houston, because we are used to Rudy Tomjanovich. You know, even Mike D'Antoni was funny. You know what I mean? Even though we didn't like his defense, and it really wasn't his defense. It was just that you know guys wasn't rebounding under Mike D'Antoni and Rick Adelman. Guys didn't care about rebounds. It was just run, go down there, shoot the shot, run back. You know, and that made it hard to win when you don't have offensive rebounders. So, and even on defensive rebounds, is hey, you know, they shoot the shot, get back. So now you barely even got defensive rebounders. You know what I mean? But I just it's not that it's not that Ime isn't a great coach. I think his coaching strength is the getting guys ready, preparing guys to play, teaching guys, how to the structure of how to play basketball, how to prepare, you know, um, putting the battery in their back, getting them charged up mentally and physically, and that's his strength. I don't know if X's and O's offensively is his strength. So I believe that maybe he was sitting there and he was like, "Well, hey, look, I'm getting a lot of flack for not being a offensive coach. I need somebody, offensive player, that makes it easier for me to coach. I need an offensive player that makes it easier for my offense to not be criticized or critiqued, or to look stronger, to bolster my ability to accomplish goals, because they're such an offensive juggernaut that I don't have to be able to be a great offensive coach, because that's what he had in Boston. He had a team in Boston that had two very great offensive players, not just awesome like KD, but very, very good offensive players in Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. And all he had to do was come in and give them structure, both to the defense, and they look like unbeatable. And they've carried that on since he left. He comes to Houston, he gives us the structure, teaches us how to play hard, charges up the team with some type of bigger, you know, IV. I don't know what he does, but all these guys think they can fight, and everybody is everybody on our team is a dog. Everybody's a dog. Everybody junkyard dog, right? Funniest thing. When LP was about to get in that fight in the last month, or whatever it was, and the dude headbutt LP and pushed him and all that stuff, and LP backed up and started laughing. I was like, I think Al Pachangun might be the one, the craziest one on the team. Because if you know anything about fights, when you headbutt somebody and they go back and they start laughing, that person might be the person you don't want to mess with. That might be the person right there. That one right there. The people who swell up and do all the talking and stuff like that, okay, that's cool. But when you headbutt somebody and they go back and they start laughing and start coming back towards you, that might be the one that you want to watch out for. And Draymond was like, "Yo, that's my guys." Your guy was about to get them hands put on him. Your guy was about to get a cup. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. When you see somebody back up after you headbutt them, they start laughing and they coming right back towards you and they laughing. Look, you think the Turkish delight? You think the Turkish delight wasn't finna come in that mug and hey, whatever he was finna do, it was finna be exciting. it was finna it was finna be equal to when Ahmed Thompson um threw Tyler Hero like had him looking like Speed Racer. You know, you know how Speed Racer, y'all know the old, people that's in my age group. When Speed Racer used to fight and he used to throw people, how they used to be upside down with their booty up in the air and their legs folded over like that. That's how Uncle Thompson threw Tyler Hero. He threw him and his leg was flipped upside down like them dudes on Speed Racer. I was in here rolling, bro. I couldn't even stop laughing. But yeah, I mean that's the kind of energy that Ime has installed into this team. It's it's good to see. Obviously, he wanted Kevin Durant because he know his offense ain't popping, bro. It just ain't. His offense ain't what it is. And getting Kevin Durant don't mean that your offense has gotten better. It just means you gotten a better offensive player. And guess what that means? That means Raphael Stone know that. Raphael Stone know. We just gave him a band-aid to cover up this glaring weakness that he has. We just gave him a band-aid to cover up his broken leg. It's not probably not a band-aid, it's probably a leg splint. It's probably a little leg splint. You know what I mean? A little wood tied up on one of them little flag, what they stick the flag in when they doing the survey. You take one of them and wrap that around your little leg splint, not a cast. It's a good little splint because what you're gonna find out now is does Reed Shepard get better, or is after you watch this year go by and you say, man, what if we had a Mike D'Antoni? How much better would Reed Shepard be? Well, he gonna want Armin to play the center. Mike D'Antoni want Armin Thompson at the center position immediately. soon as the plane land, Mike D'Antoni will try to put Armin at center. No, for real. For real. Reed Shepard, look, you just dribble the ball fast down the court fast as you can. Don't even worry about if somebody's standing right there trying to D you up. You just dribble fast as you can. You shoot the ball. Either you shoot the ball from three or you just go in there and throw up a floater. If you come in and then they try to trap you, you just throw the ball up towards the rim because Ahmed Thompson is the what LP? LP, you on the 3-point line. You a power forward now. You on the 3-point line. That's Mike D'Antoni because LP will be Leandro Barbosa. not, not, not Barbosa, bro. He'll be Boris Diaw. He'll be he'll be Boris Diaw. LP will be like Boris Diaw. And and then, you know, they we'll have to get somebody faster to come off the bench. You know what I mean? But it's gonna come a point, man. One thing I know about Rockets fans. One thing I know about Rockets fans. If the offense is vanilla, KD is not gonna stop Rockets fans from knowing the offense is vanilla. Because they're gonna start saying, "Damn, Ime, you can't get no. Why they just standing right there like that? Why KD catching the ball right here? Why Jabari not got no? Why Jabari not in motion? Why Jabari ain't moving? He just standing in the corner like that. Or why Tori ain't getting the ball at the top of the key? It'd be better if Tori. It'd be better if they ran Cam Whitmore off some screens. I can tell you everything, bro. I can tell you everything the Rocket Sphere gonna say. Cam need to be moving more. Jabari need to be in. getting more action. He need to be moving more. It's gonna happen unless Ime is holding some cards we don't know about. If we come out this year and we see Cam Whitmore playing like Rip Hamilton or playing like Klay Thompson, we'll be blown away. We'll be blown away, bro. We'll literally be shocked. Right? Now look, I don't even care. I don't even care. At this point, if we see Cam Whitmore run off some screens, pop out to the 3 point line, get the three, and then, either shoot it or pump fake, put the ball on the floor, go yam on somebody, and that becomes a regular thing, we'll be shocked because we'll be like, man, Ime, you did something we didn't know you could do. You drawing it up like that for that to be an actual part of your offense now? When did you've been holding out on us? When did you put that in your bag? You stole that and put that in your bag when we was back there in game 7, you put that in your bag and you walked out with it and you just went on about your day like you didn't have that in your bag. We didn't hear no alarm go off or none of that. You didn't pull that out in game 7. Nothing. You just stuck it in your bag and walked out with it and waited until we got Kevin Durant and then pulled it out. Guess what? Looking at some scripture, looking at some old clips of Kevin Durant in Phoenix, running off a couple of screens in Phoenix, running off a couple of screens in Phoenix. And I'm saying, okay, boom, 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 little pin down, Kevin Durant pop out, catch the ball, shoot the three. You know, you got that in your bag, Ime. You got that in your bag. So look, at the end of the day, what we're gonna find out is if Kevin Durant comes here to save Ime's offense, right? If Kevin Durant come here to save Ime's offense, and the defense still looks great, and the offense still stays the same, but the only difference is that Kevin Durant is in it, we're in a bad position, bro. Because Kevin Durant won't be here to save Ime for as long as Ime's contract is. I know it. I know it. Nobody gonna say this. Ain't nobody gonna say this. Kevin Durant will be gone. Ime's offense will still be here. And I don't know if Jabari is going to. First of all, Jabari ain't never been Kevin Durant. Jabari to me has always been more of a Rashard Lewis, more of a Robert Ory, more of I can do what I can do. I can shoot the ball. I can get in here and play some power forward. I can play a little small forward because, I can D people up. I can D up to 3. I can D up to 4. I can D up to 5. Um, and I can stretch the floor and I can dunk on people if I got to because I got some long arms and whatnot. But we all know Jabari ain't never had no great handle. We all know Jabari ain't never had no great handle. So even if KD is gone, we still got Jabari, which Jabari could be in the Giannis trade. That trade package could be you know, Fred VanVleet, Jabari Torrey trade to get Giannis. Could be. Would I do it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Not because I just don't like Jabari more than I like Jalen, but you know, Giannis is 30. Giannis is 30, bro. And he'll still be good for the next 5 to 10 years. Giannis will still be good. I mean, yeah, he getting injury prone too as he gets older, but I believe Giannis will go ahead and get on them roids and come back better. Giannis will get on that LeBron James pack, come back looking like Ben Wallace. Yeah, Giannis will get on that LeBron James pack and come back looking like Ben Wallace in 2030, bro. 2030, Giannis yoked up. Giannis come yoked up, playing better than he ever played in his life. Y'all be talking about, damn, Giannis looking like that. Boy, they got yoked up on that LeBron pack, man. Hey, look, I ain't even tripping with you though. It's really about whether or not KD can save Ime, but it's more to it than that. Is how obvious are the Rockets fans, Rockets Nation, Red Nation? How long is it gonna take before Red Nation turn on Ime? How long is it gonna be for Red Nation turn on Ime? Mm, How long is it gonna be before Stone and Petita turn on Ime? He the If y'all think he got that Greg Popovich leash, you wrong. You wrong. Let me tell you, we reaching for the one. We at the 140 right now. So look, is there nobody in here? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run to the kitchen, come right back in 60 seconds, and then I'm gonna give y'all the whammies. I'm gonna give y'all the whammies before I get up out of here. Y'all really don't want to miss this part. Y'all really don't want to miss this one. This is gonna be the best one. If you come in, look, you can hit the link. If you come in, if you're late, hit the link. You want to come up, I'll bring you up. Um, look, come up, hit the link. When I get back, we finna talk chop.
Red alert, red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding.
All right, I'm back. Yeah. So look, y'all ready for this? Rockets fans are gonna hate me if they hear this, but if you don't hear it, hey, what you don't know can't kill you. But I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna keep it. I'm keeping this up because what's the day? 23rd, June the 23rd, Monday, June the 23rd. It's Monday. That's a long week. Feel like a Wednesday or Tuesday or something. But look, check this out because I was working so much this weekend. Look, I'm gonna give y'all the insight to how I actually think about stuff. I do want to pull up something before I go into this. 'Cause I want to be sure about it. No, my bad. Okay. Okay. Check this out. No, that's not right. Okay. Listen, the Rockets picks. If I'm right, they still had a 26. Actually, I'm not getting back the best information over here. But they got the 27, 28, a swap, and a 29. Right? Guess what, Rockets fans? The tank ain't over. The tank ain't over. The tank ain't over. Hey, the tank ain't over. The tank ain't over. Why am I saying that? Because we just gave up our best score. And if Kevin Durant goes down this year, this could look for us like when Steph Curry went down a couple years ago and they end up getting Andrew Wiseman. What's the name? Andre Wiseman. Wiseman, the scrub, was supposed to be the new Anthony Davis, but he ain't even have that much heart. This is the bottom line. We might not make the playoff next year. We might not make the playoff next year if Kevin Durant get hurt early. And if Kevin Durant get hurt next year or the year after that, and we don't have the firepower to compete, we could just throw Reed Shepard out there and let him ball and tank another year. Right where we at right now. Which if we don't get Giannis and Kevin gets hurt, guess what? We are officially tanking. I don't want nobody coming up and trying to use my topics 6 or 7 months from now. You want to talk about it? Come up and talk about it. Hit me up. Look up my email. excuse, excuse me. Don't just run with my talking points because everybody's all rah rah. They running around. They clapping at. Everybody running around, clapping hands. You know what I mean? They probably clapping ass too. I don't know. I don't, I don't know about all that, but people be doing what they do. You know what I mean? But everybody running around clapping, cheering. You know what I mean? Woo, woo, woo! We got Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. Nobody's talking about the fact that Raphael Stone didn't want to do it. He may be. Nobody's talking about the fact that the media talked about us getting Kevin Durant every day, but now they're not talking about us getting Giannis. Well, they should be talking about us getting Giannis all the way up into the draft because they should be trying to force it into existence like they try to force everything else into existence, right? And nobody's talking about, and this ain't for the media, but this is just for the Rockets faithful. You know, those of us who in the know, who in the loop, who in the circle. Those of us who actually talk Rockets basketball for a hobby, for a pastime. You pop your beer with your pops or your uncle or your brother, and you talking about something, the Rockets come up. If you like me, because me and my pops, if he picked me up right now, we're gonna talk about life for about 10 minutes, and then we're gonna talk about Rockets for about an hour, and then we're gonna talk about Rockets for about an hour before he dropped me back off or before I leave or whatever the case may be. Listen, what am I saying? I'm saying 2025 could be a tank year. You might be taking the Rockets to win the championship because we got the number two best odds to win the championship, and we might actually be tanking this year. We might actually have Kevin Durant get hurt, Fred VanVleet, who was hurt last year, Tari Eason missed a substantial amount of games due to injury, Jabari Thompson lost his starting spot due to injury, Ahmed Thompson was hurt for a little while, ankle, he got bad ankles, he got the Steph Curry disease, and Shangoon was hurt for a little while, but only for a couple of games, and he's the only person on the team who I'm not really worried about having a significant injury, and he's a big man who always have significant injuries. I mean, he don't, but I'm saying the big guys are the ones who always get the significant injuries. Pause. The only one who was looking like healthy, we traded away the two of them. I mean, Dylan was hurt a little bit, but not a lot. But Jaden played 82 games. We got rid of him. Everybody else missed time last year. Missed time that played a part in our losing streaks. Everybody else missed time last year that played a significant part in our losing streaks. When Jabari went out, defense wasn't as good. Amin came in and he got better, and he was a defensive disruptor and this, that, and the third. But also, our offense shrunk because Jabari was a floor spacer. When Reed Shepard, when Fred VanVleet went out, We look like Dizzy Gillespie blowing the What I'm saying is we look like cheeks. That's what I'm saying. We look like cheeks. We was cheeks. We basically was cheeks when Fred VanVleet went out. And I mean when Armin went out, it wasn't that bad, but we was missing that spark that we was missing that thing that makes teams scared of you. And that's every other game when Tari Eason is gone. Every other game, guys feel like, hey, when the bench come in, you know, it's not that bad because they're gonna be out there with Aaron Holiday and Mookie Blaylock. Uh, I'm talking about Reggie Bullock, not Reggie Bullock, but who was on our bench last year? Jock Londale. They're gonna be out. They're gonna be out there with Aaron Holiday now. Jermaine Samuel Jr., Navale Dante, and then people will be like, "Man, we need Navale Dante. We need to let him play." Wake me up. Wake me up when Navale Dante blow somebody away, bro. Navale Dante? He ain't blow nobody away. Man, put me to sleep. You might well have put on Maxwell soundtrack. Put on a Maxwell CD. Or John B or somebody. Ain't nobody checking for Navale Dante, bro. Talking about, well, if Navale Dante get some playing time, Rockets fans is crazy, bro. All of us. Every last one of us. Every last Rocket fan is insane. Because at some point, it's gonna be somebody that we look on in the summer league, and I'm gonna post this stream, bro. If any of the stuff I say on this stream, I'm posting it on everybody's shit. I don't care if you get mad or not. I don't care if you like it or not. I don't care if you take it out your comments. I don't care if you take it out your live chat. I'm posting it the first time. And let me say this too. I'm not gonna stop going to the other sites and pulling up and chopping it up with the people that I go chop it up with. They might be, they might not really like the fact that I got my own shit to chop it up with. But look, I'm 2 hours long and I still got shit to say. I can't go on your site and get everything off because as soon as I start talking, somebody gonna want to argue about the shit that I'm saying that makes sense. Because they're gonna want to argue based off of their feelings, bro. Not based off of knowledge or experience. Ime ain't on the hot seat. Ooh, Ime ain't on the hot seat. Oh, yeah. Captain Caveman. I don't know if Ime on the hot seat or not. All I'm telling you is, if Kevin Durant can't fix his offense, even if Kevin Durant do come in and look good, even if the offense do look better, is that Ime offense better, or is Kevin Durant saving his ass? And when Kevin Durant leave, do we still have Ime's vanilla offense when he take his syrup and he take his nuts pause and he take the bananas pause and he take the chip strawberry pause that whole shit. He take all that and he leave and he take his ball and go home. Is Ime's offense still here in Houston? Plain vanilla? The enemy of Dr. Umar? Is is it just a snow holiday in as far as Houston offense goes? That's not listen. It's not a far fetched idea. It's not a far fetched idea that when Kevin Durant leaves, we look up if Ime's offense is exposed. So much so, so much so that since we've gifted top 5 shooting guard to our neighbor, the Phoenix Suns, that if Kevin Durant misses time, and I would say when, but I will knock on wood because I'm not trying to be janky. Uh, Knock a couple times because I've pretty much, I pretty much put him in a wheelchair, as the old folks say. I done put him in a wheelchair at this point. But if Kevin Durant misses time, we might literally be tanking because the possibility of Kevin Durant and Fred VanVleet missing time at the same time, highly probable. Highly probable, bro. Like, I love LaMelo Ball. I love his game overall. I love the flair and the passing and the creativity and you know, he play like that one light skinned brother that be at the park that you don't like to play against, bro. That's how he play. You know what I mean? Like them light skinned cats that be at the park and you be like, this nigga think he super fly. He think he's super fly and he doing all the stuff and he is. He is. He's super cool. He got the high confidence and his conf- his confidence just allows him to cook everybody because he out there looking cute, looking like Prince and all that shit. he, he out there looking like Prince and all that shit and doing all kind of funny crossovers and Euro stepping at the 3-point line and passing and doing all kind of wiggly stuff. And you don't want to play against him. But guess what? LaMelo is my favorite point guard in the league if he was healthy. But if somebody said, hey, Fred VanVleet for LaMelo, I'd have pause. I literally have pause because I'd be like, Fred VanVleet, Kevin Durant, LaMelo Ball, Kevin Durant, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith. Are we going to have a team this year? Are we going to literally have to just roll out, you know, Jeff Green and Steven Adams and, and Alvin Thompson at some point? Are we literally going to just be, you know, at some point, are we literally just going to have Alfred Shangoon, Almond coming back off an ankle injury, Jeff Green and Aaron Holiday um, as our team? Are we going to see that team in the regular season as our like starting five at some point? Cam Whitmore, we're gonna have like a Cam Whitmore a stretch this year. Listen, we're gonna have a stretch this year where Reed Shepard and Cam Whitmore have to start together. Taking a big swallow on that one. Pause that too. But listen, we're going to have a stretch this year where Reed Shepard and Cam Whitmore have to start at the same time, bro. It's going to be looking like Summer League 2.0 like a mug. And ain't nobody thinking about it. Only thing they're thinking about is 50, 40, 90. 50, 40, 90. You know what? Aaron Rodgers was one of the best quarterbacks ever because he wouldn't risk it. He throw the ball out of bounds all the time. You know why Kevin Durant is one of the best scorers ever? Because he not Kobe. He's not taking the toughest shots all the time. He bang, 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 take a shot, make a miss. Bang, 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 take a shot. And a lot of times those shots are slightly contested, or he getting off the ball making the right basketball play. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with making the right basketball play. I'm just saying that he is very efficient and, you know, you don't gamble a lot. That's all I'm saying. But to roll out one day, to wake up one day, pick up your phone, you scroll down and you see this. Houston Rockets. It'll be like Bleacher Report, Yahoo Sports starting lineup for the Houston Rockets tonight gonna be Reed Shepard, Cam Whitmore, and you gonna look at your phone and you're gonna be like, man, finally they get to play. And then 2 days later, on a Thursday afternoon, you'll be driving home from work and you'll be like, man, I wonder if when KD coming back. And then you'll be like, KD's out for 3 weeks. Okay, he out for 3 weeks. Well, that's a month. What's wrong with him? Bruised pectoral. Man, this nigga titties hurt. KD missed 3 weeks because his titties hurt. Hey, look, look. No, look for real. If y'all don't, if y'all don't believe me, watch and see. watch, watch and see where Fred VanVleet at. He got a bruised thigh muscle. He got a groin injury. he got a crotch injury. oh, oh my days. No, for real. Hey, I'm not playing. I'm serious. I'm serious. This is a serious matter. This is not a laughing matter. When Reed Shepard and Cam Whitmore start, Rockets fans gonna be excited. They gonna be excited. They gonna be hyped up the first time, like the first day, because Reed Shepard gonna have some good games. He gonna have some good games, and they gonna be like, boom. Look, I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna go. This how it's gonna go. Preseason, Reed Shepard, he out there with some rookies. Well, first of all, summer league. He in summer league, he getting buckets. The summer league is like G League, and we know he gets buckets on G League. Reed Shepard might MVP, and we'll be back to back MVPs in summer league. No, John Christopher was last year. Actually, the last three MVPs have came from Houston Rockets. So if Reed Shepard won summer league MVP, I wouldn't be surprised. If you have a bet and you want to bet that Reed Shepard wins the summer league MVP, as long as Victor Wembanyama is not playing in the summer league, hey, Reed Shepard might win summer league MVP because at some point he gonna put up 40 points. He's gonna put up 40. He's gonna hit over 10 threes at some point in summer league. Then, like, man, he ready. Tiffany Haddish, them boys, y'all already know. He come into the preseason, he getting starting time because it's the beginning of the preseason. You know how they do. First two games, you starting your backup. Or you starting your main guy and he only play a couple of minutes, however they gonna do it. Reed Shepard gonna get significant minutes. He gonna look real good because he's playing against people that they trying out. We already know that Reed Shepard is gonna do good against people who in his weight class. So look, at this point, Reed Shepard looking good. Rockets fans, they're gonna start pounding the table. They're gonna pound the desk. Reed, we won't read. We won't read. We won't read. Oh, he needs to start. I think Reed Shepard ready to start. We need to trade Fred VanVleet immediately. Boom, Fred VanVleet gonna start. He gonna look all right. He gonna look good. He might even get saucy his first couple of games in the league because Kevin Durant gonna draw some attention. Fred VanVleet gonna he ready to catch and shoot because Fred, unlike the rest of Houston, really believes that the Rockets can win a championship with Kevin Durant. I don't believe. Let me tell you what I don't believe. I don't believe if you ask real fans, like one on one in a room where there's no grifting. We're not grifting for super chats or none of that. You just in a room with a Rockets fan and you say, "Do you think we're gonna win the championship next year?" I don't believe nobody's gonna be like, "I guarantee we gonna win next year." No, I don't believe that's gonna happen. Did you ask OKC? They're gonna feel like, yeah, they're gonna win next year. They're gonna feel like there's no place to go but up, right? You let the Lakers get Walker Kessler or something like that along those lines, and then you turn around and you ask Lakers, "Hey, Austin Reeves, LeBron, Luca, Walker Kessler, you know, do y'all feel like y'all gonna win a championship?" They're gonna be like, "Hey, if Luca healthy, oh, let Luca come in shape. Let Luca come in ripped up in shape. Every Laker fan gonna feel like they're gonna win." You ask a Rockets fan, and they honest, they don't feel like we're gonna win next year. They still feel like if we get to the Western Conference Finals this year, we can win next season. Not this season, but next season we can win. Why? Because Fred VanVleet's not getting no better. The only thing that would make us better next season than this season is if Reed Shepard takes a significant leap because we already expect Armin to be a whole lot better than what he's going to be this year. We expect Armin because, for one, we expect Armin to be scoring 20 points or better every game, which he probably will. But he's not going to space the floor. His handle probably not going to just Kyrie. He probably just not Kyrie with the handle. He's not Kobe with the handle all of a sudden. So what we feel about Armin, like the next Pippen type stuff, nah, nah, he not that. I mean, he is that, but not as far as skill set wise. So the only thing that's going to really get us a championship is if we win next year, or we win the year after that. And how would that work? Let me tell you how that would work. Let me tell you our best chance to win a championship. Our best chance to win a championship is we have a good year this year. Kevin Durant gets hurt. We still got Phoenix picks. What's that? 27. We got Phoenix pick. We got our pick, I think, for 26. And let's say we don't make. Let's say Fred VanVleet gets hurt. and Kevin Durant missed a couple of games, and we end up getting another good pick, and we draft that pick, or we trade that pick, or we get Giannis. What I'm saying is, we still a couple of pieces short of a championship if it's not this year, because this year we could make it to a championship if Kevin Durant outplays Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. But in 2 years, I don't think Fred VanVleet and Kevin Durant going to be able to compete going to be able to compete for a championship together on the same team. I just don't, bro. I just don't see it. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Not gonna stay on 4 hours tonight, but I want y'all to think about it. This could be another Rockets tank year, or next year could be another Rockets tank year. I'm not saying don't get your hopes up. We want everybody to be excited about the year, but you can have your hopes up either way it goes. And I'm coming to realize that even if Kevin Durant gets hurt, still good for us. If he don't get hurt, good for us. And with that, I'm not gonna let y'all know how I feel about Ime being on the hot seat. I just let y'all know that I'm on high alert.
Red alert, get your body hold 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body hold 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert.